Hey guys, this video is going to show you how I turned this into this in under 20 minutes, so please follow along. So we're going to start this fade off using a number 4 guard close to clean up all the top of his head. Now you're going to grab your 0 gap trimmers. You're going to make a bald guideline around the head. I like to bring the trimmer guideline down low in the back. This way it kind of matches the natural shape of the head. Once completed, you're going to make another guideline about 3/4 of an inch up using your clipper blade fully open. The cleaner you make this line, the easier your work is going to be later on when you're fading it out. Once complete, keep the clipper blade open and add your 1 guard. This equals a 1.5, and you're going to do the same thing around the head. You're going to basically make a 3/4 inch guideline just above your half. Now you grab your 2 guard and keep the clipper lever open. You're going to do the same thing again, another 3/4 inch guideline around the head on top of the 1.5. Now you grab your number 3 guard and you keep the clipper closed, okay? That will blend out the 2.5 into the 4, no problem. Just be sure to flick out properly, use your wrist, and you should blend that out, and it should be very easy for you without having to use the lever at all. Now comes the fading section. This is the important part. Take your 1.5 guard, put it on the clipper, use an open blade, and you will blend down from the 2.5 into the 1.5. You do that by slowly closing the lever and cutting the hair shorter until that line is fully gone. You can see it here slowly fading away. Once you get to the point where it looks good, you go on to the next section, which will be the back of the head. Continue that all the way around the head until it is fully blended away. I personally like to go from fully open to fully closed when I'm using the 1.5 guard because it tends to work perfect every single time and it's quick. Now, even more important, the last guard you're going to use is the 1/16 open to close, blending that second line away. Once it is gone, you're going to use the bare lever by itself, open to close, to finish that last bald guideline. Now, you are doing both at the same time before you're moving on to a different part of the head. You are finalizing this blend on each side of the head before you move on to the next part. I'm showing you the whole process here in real time. This way you can see and you kind of get an idea of what you have to do to make sure the blend comes out good. If you have a line that is hard to get out, feel free to use the edge of your clipper blade to fade the line out. Sometimes that edge will get closer than if you use the center of your blade, and you can really fine tune a blend very good. So that should help you get rid of any extra line that might be hard to get rid of. If you're learning barbering, subscribe because I post haircut tutorials and clipper reviews every week. Now that you understand how to fade, I'm going to let this play in double time. This way you guys can just watch the footage. You already know what I did on the first side. You just continue that all the way around the head. Now I'm going to go ahead and use what's called Fresh Shapeup wipes. It's basically shampoo that is on a little sheet. You're going to wet it. It's going to make shampoo, and you pretty much clean up the client's hairline. And then I like to dab it clean with a wet towel. This way I can get all the residue off, clean them properly. Then we're going to go on and we're going to go ahead and blow dry the hair down while we're brushing it. This way we can lay it flat, have it be where it needs to be for us to do a proper shape up. We got Tresemme level 3 ultra fine hold. It's what I like to use when I'm doing spritz. So I basically put a card there to block it from hitting his face, and I spray everywhere on the shape up. I'm going to dry it after using my blow dryer. Go ahead and start from the center of the head. We're going to work our way outwards with the shape up, and we're coming off of that 90 degrees for our boxed area. I'm going to go ahead and pick the lowest point on the arch, make a line, and start bringing a nice little radius in. Nice little curved arch, very clean without taking off too much hair. I'm going to complete that same exact process on the other side of the head. As I'm doing it, I'm making sure I'm maintaining a nice straight line across the forehead. This way everything's level. And we're going to keep the same exact measurements as the other side of the head. The white line we get from doing the shape up is because the trimmers are nice and sharp, but it's also that the hair was clean and prepped properly and hit with spritz before doing the shape up. That's how you get that white line. As far as the hair dye goes, it is a 70-30 mix of 70%, 91% alcohol, and 30% hair dye. The hair dye is Kiss Express Jet Black. I'm spraying just enough to cover the light areas without spraying a little bit too much. We're going to try to keep it natural. And I would go over this with hair fibers. It's just that he didn't want any. So therefore, you do what the client wants and you don't add hair fibers. So hair dye only. Be sure when you're spraying this hair dye on, you're keeping the same exact process on both sides of the head. And you're paying attention to how much hair dye is getting on the actual hair. You don't want one side to be too dark, one side to be too light. You want it to be nice and even. The hair dye, when sprayed properly, does a very good job of enhancing the cut, again, as long as it's sprayed properly. The best way to finish this cut, if you have the means, is to lay the client back in your chair. This enables you to get in back of them and cut against the grain for the sharpest cut available. It will make sure that the hair goes all the way down to the skin. It will take longer to grow back in. It will differentiate the area where the skin is to the hair. So you'll have a fresh, clean cut every single time and stretch that skin. And that's the finished medium bald fade. We use the guard system, blended out the guidelines, and finished with a sharp lineup for a clean result. Check out this next fade tutorial right here, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.